This is the Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com. And then, of course, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. And find me on Spreaker. That's Spreaker.com/The Eric Erb Show Live. And, of course, on Anchor.fm. That's Anchor.fm/The Eric Erb Show Live. And my new platform, Podbean.com/Eric Erb Live. Okay, let's get to the news here. This is out of naturalnews.com. That's naturalnews.com. It says here, the headline, dated March 2nd, naturalnews.com, more proof the CDC delay allowed the virus to spread. Nursing home in Washington State, you all know there was a patient in Washington State that was infected, confirms that there's 2 new cases of coronavirus after weeks from being prohibited for testing. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that out there or not. The CDC controls all of the quality control and the subsidiaries, or in other words, the CDC appointed, i.e., quote, laboratories that analyze test results around the United States. There's only a handful of them. I think there's only 5 or 6 throughout the United States. There's not very many. The CDC gives them authorization. Well, the CDC was hesitant to test this person up there, a facility, a nursing home in Kirkland, Washington. That's Kirkland, Washington, as in Washington State. And that's located near Seattle. For the coronavirus, or as they're now calling it, they got a new name, it's COVID-19, the outbreak cluster. Officials say 52 people at the Life Care Center are displaying symptoms that align with the infection, while 2 individuals have been tested presumptive positive for the novel virus, proving once again the delays in the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, have worsened the situation. These potential cases, which represent nearly half of the entire care facility, serve as more evidence that a community spread of the Wuhan coronavirus has indeed arrived. So I don't know what you guys think about that. That's the main headline, or one of the headlines on naturalnews.com. I don't know what to say. The CDC has the best facilities in the world. They can handle biological testing, different types of germ warfare, germ testing, SARS virus. They can handle everything in that facility. However, these people affiliated with the CDC, and the CDC is controlling them. What they're doing is they're not allowing, the Centers for Disease Control is not allowing other facilities to test these would-be people that have the coronavirus. So let me just explain. These people that have the coronavirus have to have a certain test. I was told, and I've looked this up online, that the test can run up to $3,000 or more per test, maybe even more, just depending on how many people have the coronavirus. These tests have to be approved, which they are, by the CDC. The CDC doles out, in other words, gives permission to these testing laboratories to have a certain amount of tests. So in other words, they provide them with a certain amount of tests, but they're very discretionary rather than being very aggressive about a frigging pandemic. The CDC is twiddling their thumbs as usual. Typical bullshit, excuse my language, twiddling their thumbs. Why this facility, long-term care facility up in Kirkland, Washington, near Seattle, has possible an outbreak in the entire facility, so maybe half the people, possibly, we don't know that, but there are 2 verified cases now up there in Kirkland at this long-term care facility. And the CDC is dragging their feet because they control the quality control. They control how many tests will be given out to what laboratories and to what testing facilities, and they're very discretionary. Rather than looking at China, and again, this is typical bullshit, typical red tape, bureaucracy, and bullshit. They would rather put American lives in danger, the CDC I'm talking, American lives in danger, because they don't want to sound the panic alarm. Well, I can tell you, it's past that. It's a friggin' pandemic right now. The CDC needs to get their head out of their proverbial ass and get to work and do what they do best. Don't forget, the CDC, I'll remind you, on the positive side, they are the best in the world. There's nobody better than the CDC at handling viruses, contagions, different things like that. And like I said, SARS, Ebola, I mean, I can go on and on and on. They can handle just about everything you can throw at them. But again, they're in bed with the pharmaceutical companies. They're in bed with the WHO. They're all working together. Of course, China's in the mix too, the Chinese media, the Chinese communistic government, that they're controlling the narrative. The narrative is, oh, let's not spook everybody. Let's please be quiet and don't say anything. We don't want to start a pandemic right now. We're not ready for that. We must be quiet. All this other bullshit. That's what the truth is. And the truth is scary. The truth is very scary right now because they don't want to reveal the truth. The truth is they're hanging on to tests. They're not doling them out. Geez, if I was running the CDC, not that I'm qualified, I certainly am not, but if I was running the CDC, I would be very aggressive and say, you need to mass produce, mass manufacture these test kits. They need to be, give them a certain time frame by the end of March or end of April in every friggin' doctor's office available that requests or has them, at least in every hospital around the country. Test for that shit. I mean, this shit isn't going to just bring you down and give you the flu. This shit is going to kill you. People have no idea. I'm going to read on here the article. 2 presumptive positive cases of the disease include 1 staff member and 1 resident at the facility. This again in Kirkland, Washington, close to Seattle. A woman being in her 40s and the latter, a woman being in her 70s, according to reports. During the recent press conference, Seattle and King County health officer Dr. Jeff, I think it's Duchin, D-U-C-H-I-N, Duchin, indicated that the worker is currently in satisfactory condition, while the elderly resident is very serious condition. Because of the lack of CDC testing kits, the Life Care Center was unable to adequately determine the health status of its many residents and workers until recently, after the disease had already taken root within the facility. It's just like this, it's the bureaucracy. It drives me fucking crazy. Bureaucracy always wins over common sense, and this is what drives me crazy, batshit crazy about America. As we have this, we got to follow policy and we got to worry about this and worry about that. No, there is not going to be a policy, dumbass, if you do not take care of and isolate and prevent this virus. We got to worry about, there's not going to be a humanity. People are always worried about this and that and what the neighbors think and equal rights and liberal rights and LGBT and who's going to get offended and what races. And, I'm just going to say something all across the board. Fuck that, okay? You can't worry about that shit in a time of a global pandemic. This is almost very close to, it's very apocalyptic. As soon as it gets here, you say, us down here in Florida say, yeah, we can't get it. And then as soon as all of a sudden it's down here in Florida, and then these people have to shut their big mouths down here. You always think that the other guy gets it. Too bad, so sad. I'll say a prayer and move on with your little fucking lies. What you don't realize is this virus is spreading all over the world. It's here. It's spreading everywhere throughout the United States. They're just starting to tell the CDC, who's again the best in the world. I give them thumbs up definitely because they are so good, but they're cracking. They're cracking under the pressure. These new people handling the CDC aren't ready for this. They're ill-equipped for this. They can't handle a major outbreak, not in this country. We're too diverse a nation. We won't put up with a medical martial law situation where the CDC actually comes in and they're essentially controlling and running the show. Even the president takes a second seat to the CDC. Once medical martial law is declared, that's it. They'll control the military. They'll control the reservists. They'll tell you when you can go out, when you can't, when you shit, and what you do. And if you have to stay home for 30 days, you're going to have to be quarantined and keep your ass in the fucking home. You're not going to your job. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Your ass will stay put. And you think that, oh, geez, Eric, you're sounding the alarm. You're sounding crazy once again. No. Coronavirus is already here, and it's coming to a neighborhood near you. And that's the fact of the matter. And you can debate all you want. I'm going to win this debate, but I wish I wouldn't. I would rather lose. This is one time I want to be wrong. I want to be dead wrong. I pray to God that I'm wrong. I pray for everyone here all around the world that I'm dead wrong. But it's not, because it is a pandemic. It was a bioweapon that was released on accident in Wuhan, Japan, or Wuhan, China, excuse me, not Japan, but Wuhan, China. And it was released, got out of hand, started killing people. The Chinese wanted to test that. And, oh, they have their bioweapon. And, oh, it's pretty damn good, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's killing people left and right. The numbers out of China are not even right. You have more like getting close to 1 million people infected globally, not their numbers, but 1 million people infected globally, and you have about 30 to 40,000 dead already. All right, let me know what you think. This is Eric Erb of the Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com. Of course, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. And find me on Spreaker, Spreaker.com/The Eric Erb Show Live. And find me on Anchor, Anchor.fm. Like, subscribe. Want to know what you think. Thank you. Have a good night. Signing off. Bye.